Hello. Here I've laid out most of the pieces that are usually used to build medieval houses in Playmobil, and I'm going to show you what they are and what the differences are, and also demonstrate how to put them together using an example. So these are all from different periods but many of them are from the early sets from the 70s. But there's a difference between those old sets and the ones that came later, when they improved some of these pieces to make them more sturdy and to clutch better. And I'll go over that as we get there. So first of all, we have these basic wall pieces, and as you see here, they consist of two layers that you just put together. So you have all these different types, and I'm just going to lay them on top of each other here. I'm not gonna actually assemble them. I'm just showing you so you get the example and what they look like. Yeah, and these are just the way they are. These are like hollow pieces that just exist to give you a way to reach into the house. And yeah, so we see all these different kinds, and they're actually supposed to just, when you put them together, I don't think you're supposed to disassemble them. I was able to do that, being very careful, but in one of the cases I did actually happen to damage one of them. So well, maybe that's because of age, maybe maybe this was especially fragile, but either way, I think since probably if you got a Playmobil set used, like all of this is stuff that I just secondhand, then you probably wouldn't want to disassemble them anyway. I just did that for this video to show you what it looks like. And then we have all these other things here that go with them. So for example, these doors fit here, and they just work like that. You have to fit the door in as you put these together, and when they're together, then the door is stuck in place. So as you see here, that's how you do it. You just put it there and then you lock it in using this one. And the windows are a bit easier, and we have a few different types of windows. So these are the same basic size, so they both fit in this frame. This is probably the most common one. I think when you put them in, you need to be careful, and also when you take them out, you need to be careful not to break the little pins here that are that you have to keep it in place. But it's not so fragile that it's a big issue. I think if you're just careful with it, it's no problem. But I do have quite a few that have been broken previously. You know, when kids play, that's bound to happen, and this is kind of a, I suppose, kind of a fragile toy for kids, but you should be able to work with it if you're an adult. Anyway, this goes in here. You just kind of have to push it up, I guess. So you just slot one side in place and then carefully get this in, and that's how you do that. And if you want to replace it, you can just carefully flex it until you can get this one out. You just push this up and then push through. I wouldn't recommend doing that if the actual window is in one of these. I would take out the whole frame before doing that. So because when it's here, it's not able to flex. And yeah, and also you need to flex it in order to remove it from this frame, this big frame here. So you can just push it in, but if you want to take it out, you need to open the window, and then it's able to flex, because you see here, over here and down here, you have these pieces that if the window's closed, it's not able to properly flex, and it's not going to be able to come out. So yeah, you have this in place, you open the window, and then you can carefully pull it out. Then there's also these smaller windows. So same principle here. You get them in the same way, and these are for these. I don't even know what to call these, but it's like the window extensions from the roof, and this was not quite right. There it is. Okay, and you just basically push them in. But same thing, if you want to get it out of the window, you need to open the window like this, and then it's able to flex down, and you can get it out. Because when the window is closed, it's kind of in the way. But anyway, so that fits in here. And you may wonder why I have these different things that seem kind of identical, but they're not really identical. So yeah, I think they're almost the same if you look at these brown pieces, but there are some slight differences. I notice over here they're just slightly different, but there's nothing major. So yeah, you'll see that these ones have little slots over here, like indentations or something. And also there's just a slightly different mold, and this is the old style and this is the new style. So yeah, and this here is the even older style, and this one doesn't even fit a window like this. It's just an open window, and this window frame is just fits these two just the same, and there's no variation. But these two, from the outside, they look pretty much exactly the same, but if you look at the inside, you can see that this old one is a bit more basic, and this new one has some extra parts that just clutch together a bit more, so that it's more sturdy. It won't fall off the roof. I'll demonstrate that later. This one is really not that sturdy. It just kind of sits there, and it's the same thing with this one. They just sit there on top of this little window extension. And then there's this thing. This is a chimney, and it works the same way as these windows. You take one of these, and you first you set them in like this, and then you can push them in. But you need to, you can't push them in like this first. You need to kind of slot them in like this, and then you can push them in. And I'll just demonstrate for this one. So, and then this just sits on top. And it's the same principle for this one and this one. It's just that this thing stays because of those extra extension things that it has. Yeah, and then we have a few different ones that you can combine, a few different bigger roof pieces. So first thing, the ones that go opposite each other. So here's just a flat one, and here's one with a window that can of course also fit the chimney. You need to put these together like this, and then you can carefully push them in to each other. A bit hard with one hand, but basically what you need to do is get this pin in the hole on the opposite side. So identical up here and then other way. It just kind of slides in. And when you have a set like this, you can combine them with other sets using these. So you just put those in there, and they're also just you just have a bunch of these, and they go opposite each other, but you need to start on this side because then the next one will overlap like that. I think you can see the picture. So you start like this, and then there's open space here. But if you start from this side, then there's a hole that this side is supposed to fill, and you can't get it in there that way. Now there are also these that are a bit newer, and yeah, just these came with the big castle in '93, and it's the same principle. You just kind of get them. Oh, and this one's actually broken. I didn't see that before. Yeah, you just put them on like that. Exactly the same principle. And you can also combine these, like make them longer using these, and you can go for however many of these you have. And then those can be, I can have these on the ends, and this is not assembled. This thing is, this doesn't work with any of these wide parts because, as you see here, it's not going to stick there. It's already got this. So this is kind of just an open piece like those over there. If you want to reach into the top of the house like this. And yeah, that's good for being able to see inside and move things inside. Now there are also a few different kinds of castle wall type things for the roofs, and this one is the old style, and it works with these, and this is the new style, and it works with these. Now the thing is, if you're using these, you can't really, unfortunately, mix and match however you want, because see this clutches in place with these types of pieces. So here there's like a little line you can probably not see that just clutches in place with this thing. And for demonstration, I actually pre-built this right here. So this is sturdy because it's got this thing that keeps it in place. But this old one doesn't have that. So it's not as stable, and if you're not careful, it's going to fall apart. You can't pick a frame up like this and just shake it like this, like I'm doing. And also, same goes for these. And just when we compare with this frame over here, I'm not going to break it, but it's not as solid. I wouldn't dare do this with this one. And also, see, this just comes off. It's just sitting there. And this thing too. So there's a difference to keep in mind. Moving on, and this is quite a mess, but that's fine. I didn't plan to keep this table all orderly. I'm just moving these around. So we talked about these and these and these. Oh yeah, this is, oh yeah, I talked about this too. This is one of the window things you can change out. This goes in one of the windows that's over here. So this thing doesn't work with this size of window. This only works with these. And then there's this size that's slightly bigger if you compare them. And that fits with these. So there's a difference. And I think that's to, well, actually, I don't know why that is. Probably because they made one first and then they realized, oh, because of scale, we can't have them be the exact same. So they have two different ones. And it's the same as with the doors and those windows that you just, well, with the doors over there, that you put it in and you just lock it in place using this frame. So, so these pieces don't have a window frame that's independent from these pieces, like these windows on the other floors do. So top floor windows different from the ground floor windows, and there are also different variations. You have ones you can see through and ones that are just like shutters. So yeah, but these two are the same size, and they also come in different colors. So yeah, for this whole comparison here, I just brought out one of each piece, basically. But you have different colors. You have different colors of these. There are blue ones and yellow ones and green ones. But I use the whites because they're the most common. And I don't have too many of the colors. I just have one greenhouse. Then we have these floors. And this thing is almost identical to this. It's just that, again, this is old, this is new. I think probably what happened is that these things broke off. Now, funnily enough, all of these that I have, these parts are not broken, but the outer things are. You can see here how the kid who had this set originally managed to break them, and well, he broke all the ones. So I have no whole examples of this part here, but I have this. I have tons of these, and they're just, oh, except this one's broken too. Whatever, it works. You can see how it's supposed to be. Yeah, so they basically had the same thing, but just a bit simpler. Yeah. And what you do is you take a frame of wall pieces, like here, and you put these in place. I haven't come to these yet. Actually, I'll do those first, and I'll show you that. Then we'll come back to the floors. So we have these extra things here. These are just decorations, and well, this is similar to the doors and windows that you just put it in place on this type of piece and lock it in place. And it's supposed to be drawn up by chains. Unfortunately, I don't have the chains for this thing. But you can imagine how you just put chains here, and it's pulled up through these holes up here. So you would have chains going back to the back here, and then you could pull them down, and that would create the effect of this thing going up. But I can't demonstrate that because I don't have the chains. Now, all of these are just things you can put on the walls like this. Or, like, you could do it either on top, or you could also put them in some places like here, for example. Here's a hole, you can just put this right in. And that works. Also, this piece has 2 holes, so you can do that with. And I think, yeah, this one does too. 2 on the sides here. So yeah. So you can put one of these, this, or this. These are just using the same basic function to do that. And this connects to this one, and this connects to 2 of these. You just kind of click them in place, and it looks like this when you do that. So yeah. And oh yeah, these don't really belong here. These are for castle gates. But I figured this is not what they show in the instructions. They actually don't show what this thing is supposed to do in several sets that I've looked at, like the City Hall set and the what's it called, the Medieval Inn set. They just have these going out from the side of the wall like this, and they don't do anything with it. It's just there. Oh, but I figured that this plank that is supposed to be over the, like, that's supposed to lock the gate that we're not going to cover in this video, actually fits pretty well as something that you could shelve. Like you could have a shelf up here. Not sure if, like, I haven't done that when I've built things myself, but you could. So that's just something, like an idea that you could use this for something, but I honestly don't know because they don't really tell you what you're supposed to do with it. If you know, you can comment, and that would be appreciated. But yeah, anyway, so that's what these are. And also, this connects to this. This is just the lock. So you have this piece go in through the other one, and then you can make a sliding lock like this, and it just fits in the door like so. Okay, and this is just one of these filler pieces to prevent you from seeing holes in the building. You can just do this with them, and that looks prettier. But you can't have all these extra things if you want to have floors. So I'm just going to take these down now. And oh yeah, I forgot about this. This is a piece that you can hang like a torch or something to. You could yeah, but whatever. Then, okay, so here's a floor part. You can just put right across. Yeah, there it is. And here's another. Oh, I think I know why they got rid of those. It's easier to put this on. You don't have to be as straight. And then you have this to hide this gap. And that's what that looks like. There's also this piece. I don't know if it came in any of the medieval house sets, but it works the exact same way, and I think it's useful to have a little opening when you make one of these. You can put a ladder through, and that's very useful. So, for example, you can do this, put this on, and then just have a ladder, and that works. And then you have access to the upper floor. Now, to complete the house, you just put one of these tops up here, and actually, let's see. Yeah, like so, and then you have a bunch of these and put them around here. So let's see where we have them. You just complete the look using these, and that finishes the whole build. And this whole thing is exactly the same for both this newer style and this older style. Like, they have the exact same function. There's no difference. So yeah, I hope that this video could be a bit informative for any one of you who may not be as experienced with Playmobil. Myself, I really had no idea when I started collecting a few months ago. So I've just had to figure things out on my own. I've seen pictures of these since I was a kid. I just never had any. So figuring this out was a bit complicated, and that's why I decided to make this video, because I thought, well, I couldn't find any real instructions for what all these pieces were and what their uses were and how to put them together properly. I had to just figure that out on my own, and well, that worked. I mean, I figured it out. But I hope that some of you who who don't know got instruction from this video, and that you can just go straight to building whatever you have, and maybe you got some ideas, and maybe you got some inspiration for parts that you're like, oh, I didn't know that part existed, and maybe you want to find it separately and complete your collection using it. And of course, this isn't really every single part that's ever been released, but it's most of them. So so yeah. But I hope you enjoyed, and leave a comment if you have something to add or anything. So yeah, thanks for watching. Goodbye.